Good morning, team. Today is August 4th, 8:22 a.m., 2025. Hope you guys are having a great day. Great start to your morning. This is the start of another week, an eventful week, and thanks again for joining us here at Blue Sky Live Trading. We're off to an early start again, ready to tackle the market with plenty of market news and insight, advice, and hopefully some guidance to help you guys navigate the waters of these markets if you guys are new traders. I'm Coach Rizzler, one of the coaches here at Blue Sky, and again, want to welcome you to the Blue Sky family. If you haven't already, stop in the Discord. We've got some great We've got some a great layout of channels and informative topics and areas that you guys can dive into and learn all the ins and outs about trading. You can also learn about all of our specials and promotions that are going on. Right now, we've got our launch plans at $49 and $69, as well as our direct to fund it that's 20% off. So if you're looking to get started on your trading journey and ready to change your life, then sign up today and tell them Coach Rizzy sent you. All right, well, I haven't popped in Discord. I've got a handful of friends in there, and if you haven't already, then now's the perfect time to jump in our Discord channel and meet me and the rest of your trading community because we can't wait to meet you. And you know what? If you're not in there, then you're only getting half the experience because all the rest of the learning process happens in there. We've also got some great classes every Thursday hosted by Coach Matt himself. So don't forget to stop in there and check in and get your learn on because it's not every day that you get a coach with over 15 years of experience under his belt. I think almost 20, maybe even more than that. I might be mistaken. I need to ask. And get that knowledge, free learning, all brought to you by Blue Sky. Hey, thanks to Mike for that as well. Don't forget you can catch him, the actual Candle Whisper himself, Mike, as well as Coach Madden here every afternoon in Power Hour. So, hey, good luck in your trading day. See you guys in Discord. Sorry about that, my friend. Yeah, NQ as well is testing the 200 EMA here on the 15. We got about 2 minutes left on this candle, making a nice upward push. Let's go to the heat map and take a look at Nasdaq. Well, you know what? First off, look at the S&P. You know, a lot of flat, a lot of green. You know, so right now at this point, much easier to go to the green side since there is more green. So we do have a lot of earnings going on, and Nasdaq as well, a lot of green. We can see that. Let's see, Nvidia 1.23% green. So is Apple. Looks like chips is doing very good today. Maybe making a recovery from some of that sell-off from some of the chips news we were hearing, last week on Friday. I know there's a lot of, you know, hesitation in the market just because of, China saying that there's backdoor on chips, things like that. Microsoft's still, a beast like it's been, it's been on this, nice move. Meta, Google as well. I saw some really cool videos about what Google's up to with Google XR. And man, I don't know how Apple's going to compete against them. I meant to send the video over to Coach Matt about Apple. What do you think about oil futures? Let's go take a look at crude oil. Right now, a lot of selling. I was hopeful that the seasonality would kick in and we'd have some higher prices on crude oil. That has not translated into what I expected, and my oxy calls are suffering because of it. At this point, it seems like if anything, we have a big strangle on crude oil, and with the U.S. and Trump threatening to not just open the oil reserves, but to pump more oil out of the U.S. than ever before. I think we're really leveraging the surpluses that we have in ways we never have before. I thought that Biden did a great job when he was leveraging the oil reserves and brought the oil down, but I don't know what has continued to go on. I have not further, you know, read into it, but the control that we've had over the price of oil is quite impressive. So I expect more of the same. I expect crude oil to continue doing that. I don't think we're going to have any crazy runs on crude oil, not especially with all the alternatives to crude oil that EV tech and all that. So you know maybe a little bit of price increase, but I don't think much because we're trying to compete against Russia and control all these other countries, and the only way we can do that is by keeping our crude oil prices low and not going out to those countries using our crude oil. So I think that does exactly what I've always wanted us to do, which is strangle crude oil and leverage it and rely on our own reserves because we enrich other countries and give them leverage. So I think that's a good bargaining tool that you know maybe may not have been explored quite as much as of lately, but I'm glad it is. So, anyways, so let's see here on the daily. You can kind of see here we are still selling. The daily itself is closing to the downside, nasty rejection. Although we do have 7 hours for this daily candle, to turn green, but we are starting to push down into the lower side of the trend line. So crude's got to bounce. If we're gonna continue to range in this, then I would imagine that if you're looking to long it, we're going into the site that you could kind of long it, and maybe you'll get that nice bounce there. You can start to kind of make that upside move. But how long is that going to take? Is that the kind of trade you're looking to take? Probably not. You're probably looking at something more to scalp, intraday and stuff. But I think all eyes is on the Nasdaq and ES right now, especially with the sell-off we had. Look at us now; the market is really ripping to the upside itself. So I think I think the play right now is more of a nice upside move on the indices themselves as opposed to the energy sector. Although if you are playing like Oxy, stuff like that, maybe might help. Oh, look, we got 222. All right, so we got some lottery numbers in the mix. Thank you for that, Blue Detective. You know what? Let me look at something else real quick. Yeah, we don't have too many energy Yeah, I mean, we really don't have any energy companies this week. That was all last week. So, yeah, I can't say the crude oil is gonna be my move. If anything, I'll be honest with you, what I have enjoyed trading more has been gold. I've been enjoying trading gold, and especially in the Asia, because it moves like Nasdaq, in my opinion. I think we do have a little bit more downside. I think if you were to be interested in maybe going long on crude oil, I would be waiting for 65.05. That would be my mark where I would really find interest. You know, we don't hold that, then you'd be looking at 64.73. I'd be looking in that range, maybe even the 64.83 mark. I would look around that spot. Look at NASDAQ ripping to the upside, pushing the 23,187.23. Market fairly green for the morning session. Nice to see us catching a nice rebound. How long until we put her out, though? Or what will we do here? They're working on it. They're working on it. You're right, though. Yeah, we've recovered Friday's sell-off already. It's a nice move. We got weak resistance at these levels, so it's easy to break them and burst through them and stuff. Establish ourselves higher. You know what? We didn't even do our orb, did we? Shame on me. It's a huge level, though. It's a huge orb level. Oh, I did not want to touch that. I'm gonna lock that real quick. I'm gonna lock this one too. Man, hopefully this chart doesn't get too messy. On the 15-minute, really interesting. We're testing the 200. We break over it. We get this candle to close above it, and we'll start trading in this range then. Although we did consolidate in this range before for like a day before we made our next leg up. So we do have some traffic to get through if we want to get that upside push. If you want to see it get froggy. This is actually where you were expecting the market to stall out. Dang it, Pop. Nah, it's all good. It's all good. We got plenty of time in the day. This is just what the last target is. If I were to get in the bottom. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. All right, right here. Let's do the orb here for sure. For shizzle, we're doing it here. Oh, come on. Yes, hold it. Not to mention the dailies. 9 EMA is here. Got it. Got it. Can't see it. Can see it here though. I know that. See. Yep. Fara looks decent. 1 hour looks really strong to the upside though. Got 5 minutes left on this 1 hour candle. I picked up some XSP 632 calls. Managing that position right now. I'm up like 200%. Well, 189. Close enough. Not expecting that much more. AQ struggling. Like I said, the volume is starting to dry up. You can see it. We're like at a pivot spot though on QQQ and NQ right now. Start breaking out. Could be on. You could get a nice explosion to the upside. To be told. Oh, President Trump is speaking, so even better, gang. Oh my goodness. Maybe I should sell these calls. I'm up 255% now. Trump's talking about American Eagle right now. Getting a nice push here on NASDAQ, pushing 23,000 to 44. ES pushing 6,037 and a quarter. We're a minute from the top of the hour. Factory orders coming out 1 minute now. I'm up almost 300% now on these calls. Oh, there's 300. I'm going to sell a partial. Come on. Give my 2 cents. Of course, I could always be wrong. It's not a matter of being wrong. It's a matter of making money. 10 seconds. Come on, 2 cents. Give my 2 cents. Numbers are in line. In line, but below the previous print. So not necessarily what we'd want. Boom. Just got filled. Just took a partial. Sold for 316%. Still in my runner right now. NQ pushing 23,252, holding quite nicely. I got my runners left now, but well in the money now. Let's go. Dow Jones is up 1% now, sitting at 44,146. Check out SPX. Let's see how we're doing in that gap fill. Pretty close to halfway there. I figured we should get it at least 6,320. We should get there. We get there, then it's a matter of what does price do once we get there. You get a little bit more of a slow grind, and that'll then open up the door to 6,340. Who's along from last night? That's what I want to know. I know one of you guys from Market Prep yesterday was long from last night. I got stopped out at the open. I'm not gonna lie. I got stopped out at the open, and then I tried it again. Got a few bucks out of it, and then got stopped out again because my entry was so late, and then I just gave up. I was just like, nah, I'm not doing this. And keep pulling back now, rejecting. Sorry guys, we need this in a reg. We need. Yeah, I can watch this on the hourly here. Sorry. All right, much better. I sold 300 points too early. Oh my god. If I would have gotten my perfect entry, I'd still be long. I'd still be long. But yeah, such is life. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. It just wasn't my night. Not after this pullback. After the 6 p.m. pullback when I jumped out of VC, it never came back to this. This is like the ideal. If you could have caught it right here, you'd have made bang. You'd be rich. Let's see. That'd be like almost 11,000 right there. You had like 3 ES cons. Imagine. That's what I'm talking about. All right, I'm gonna put my sell stop in here, just in case. Yes, taking a breather here, pulling back some 6,336. Let's go back to NQ. You guys are all eyes on NQ right now. 23,248.50. A little bit of a pullback, taking a breather. Maybe I'll retest the 9 at 23,216. Had a nice upward move though. I'll say that. Hope you guys are all green today. Very nice expansion to the upside. Whoa! My MSOX shares are up fairly green today. Let's go have a gander real quick. cleaning up on the competition. I used to like doing the Trading View competitions. I'm so glad they got that for you guys. I'm so glad they got that for you all. Yeah, me and a few of my friends, we used to always do the Trading View ones. I had a couple of times that I was like in the top 100. There's a few times I was up, like pretty up there. But the bad thing about that is like it takes away from my regular trading because then I'm like focused on that. So it's like, I kind of want to do it, but I don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Uh, ARQ, what are the rules on that, bro? Well, that's interesting on this chart. Look at where NQ actually like opened up its next candle. It's right above the prior all-time high. Huh. Can we use that as support for our next leg up? I think so. Yeah, I'm up 16% on these. Let's go. I got my stop limit in place now. So we got my stop. We are ready to close that position if need be, but I don't think we are. I think we're gonna be good. I think we're gonna be real good. Base here, small little pullback, make our next leg up. Oh, Bait Fisherman's got some downside moves. Nice. Man, they'll be putting salt on my calls, Bait Fisherman. I, I need you on the upside, bro. I need you to buy. I need you to buy lots, buy mucho, mucho. I need you to buy this market, bro. I need ES to go and peg the general. That's what I need right there. Need that. I need that kind of go get him, take him out. I definitely need a new blue surfer guy. I need him with like surfing to the upside, so I can just have him like cruising upward. Well, we got Steve. Steve is the cookie monster. I don't know where he's at. I think he's on the. Oh, he's on the Nasdaq chart. I got Steve on the Nasdaq chart as the cookie monster. I actually found a funny one of the cookie monster. Done with yes already. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's catching a nice big. Trying to push up at 6,336. NQ the same, holding off the 9 EMA 23,248. Still looks like we've got a decent upside grind to going on. So let's see how long this lasts. Yeah, that's its gap. What? Oh, that's bear. Well, didn't get the runner, but got some support. Yeah, I'm still holding on to my runner. My runner's still running. I got some hope for this. I just want to see my runner get into the money. That's all I want. My runner get into the money. We get like a 500% bagger, and then we good. Everybody in opinion went long. All right, let's take a look at your crude oil long. Okay, went long at 560. So you're down here. That's where you're at roughly. Is your entry. And you're trying to get to 36. Trying to get there. Well, you're more than halfway there. A little bit of a pullback right now, though. You got a beautiful entry, though. I think you should be fine. Hey, you got plenty of time on this 15-minute candle. I think the real thing you're going to want to keep an eye on is the 26. You know, what I think right now, though, is a good note is that you're not rejecting at the 26. So you haven't even gotten to the 26 that you're getting the rejection. So I have a funny feeling that if when this candle pulls back, if it pulls back, you should get a nice push through it because the rejection came before it. So you'll have an accumulation of buyers who should be interested in the push up. Just be careful. I would have my stop in the money at least at this point. Don't let a green trade go red against you. I like to put my stop in the money. I like to at least make a little money, so at least I feel like I made a little something out of it. You know what I'm saying? Green, green to red is what I do best. What? Should be doing all right, bro. Well, I don't know if you traded today. Friday was, man. Fop was right. We should have taken profit. Hindsight probably should have taken profit, but then it's like, you just don't know if the market's just gonna do it. If it's just gonna rip. You know, I'm usually green and then watch it go red. Well, if no slippage, I'll make 60. Or good luck to you, Andre. I think you look good though. I think your crude oil trade looks good.